Hi, welcome to Less of Me Success Stories. I'm your host, Robyn Dobbins, and my co-host, Scott King, will be running the chat tonight. Hi, Scott.
Hey there, everybody. Feels like it's been a while since I've been here. Glad you guys are joining us. We just want to let you guys know we know what it feels like to be hopeless and helpless. Your journey is not over. You can rewrite your story at any time. We provide a platform to share stories of people on how they reclaim their lives using dietary intervention.
Thanks, Scott. Well, it has been a while. It's not just you. It's been a while. We took a little bit of a break, and this is our first show of 2025. And I just want everybody to remember to share us. Just stop for a second, share us on your social media so that everybody knows that we're going now. And you can all join in the chat later on and ask your own questions. We really appreciate audience participation. As a reminder, we are not medical professionals and we are not offering medical advice. So please consult with your team of doctors before trying any intervention. So now let me get to our guest tonight. I'm super excited because I was trying to think back on when we met, and I think it was in 2020, and it was the COVID times, and none of us could do anything. We're all stuck in our houses. And our NSNG Facebook group decided we couldn't be lonely anymore. So we started doing these Zoom meetings and just hanging out. It wasn't talking about, well, we would catch up about how we were all doing with our diets, but really it was just social. We just needed some connection. And so he and I've been friends ever since, and I've just loved following his story. So he's always been trying really hard to get everything together, get it all going, and then like one little thing will get in the way here, and then little thing will get in the way there. But then last year he made this goal and he was committed. So I am super excited to talk to Adam today, and he can tell us all about what he did last year and how he got to this point. Adam, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to join you guys in this conversation. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting to talk to you, just very excitedly, because like I said, I've seen you do like some wonky things. You were in our first iteration of this show when it was the Lunch and Learn
Yep.
on yeah. So and back then you were talking about how great you were doing, but you really loved your athletic greens. And I was like, disclaimer, athletic greens are not NSNG. So I'd like to hear how it's gone since then.
For sure. So I could maybe just give a little bit of backstory, I guess, and then kind of lead up to this year. So, growing up, I was always pretty active, typical story, pretty athletic, did a lot of sports, could get away with not eating clean, right? Because you're young and you can kind of, outrun that stuff. But then, you get into college, you get into your career, you just start to not prioritizing that stuff, I would say, right? So a lot of like fast food, easy meals, all these different things, justifying the, work life, balance, if you will. And just started to kind of gain weight throughout my 20s and a little bit here and there, and then really, accelerate that into my 30s. And you would make these justifications that you're traveling for work and doing these things and balancing life and, and going out to dinners and all this stuff. And all of a sudden you wake up and, you're 100 pounds heavier than you were when you got out of high school type of thing. Right. So that's kind of, where back in 2020, it was a big kind of wake up call for me that my health was not great. And that's when I first heard about NSNG. It's where I first was on an airplane in 2019 and saw the fat documentary, like right when it came out, and the whole deal. I think the big mistake though I made, so I lost a bunch of weight in 2020, but then I gained it back. And we can unpack this a bit, but I think the big thing for me is it became a destination, right? It became like a goal to get to rather than how I was going to, operate and run my life, if that makes sense. Right. So I had this goal in my mind. I had this number in my mind. And then once you hit that number, you start outsmarting yourself, right? You start saying, I can go back to cheat meals. I can start to go back to these things. I can, go to social events and all this different stuff. And then all of a sudden you look back and the weight, is back on. Okay. And the cheat meal every other week turns into a cheat meal every week, which turns into 2 cheat meals a week, right? Friday, Saturday, and so forth. And so that was my big thing. And then, last year, we can dive deeper in that. I had this epiphany where it's kind of like, hey, I know what works. I know what has worked for me. It was my mentality and how I approached it that needed to change, not what I was, what I had to do, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So it sounds like um, it's like what everybody else does. It's like it's a diet.
For
And
sure.
when we say the word diet, we're always like, there's an end point, and I think a lot of people do this, so I don't think you were alone in what happened. Is like a lot of people go into it and they're like, I'm doing this diet, and then we hit that goal, and that's it. Now it's fair game again, and then it's like great mystery on how all of it comes back on. So yeah, that totally makes sense. So how did you change from that diet frame of mind to where you are? Or
Yeah.
where the process to where you are now?
Okay. So during that time, let's say 2020 through now, what I'd also do is I like to do active fitness stuff, right? I like to go on hikes. I like to, paddleboard, or I like to work out. I like to do these things because in my mind, if I was doing hard work, I could justify not being disciplined, right? Like it could justify not being, having the nutritional aspect tied in if I was going and working out for an hour or 2 a day. So, I really would dive into these challenges like the 75 hard or whatever they were. And again, that becomes a destination, that becomes a challenge, that becomes these things that you get really dialed in for 75 days, and then it stops, and then you relax, and the whole deal. Okay. Well, so about 4 years ago, I started dating this wonderful lady, and she really is active. She's really into sports, right? And what's funny is in my personal circle of friends, none of them were really active into sports, right? I didn't really have folks that were marathon runners or softball players or basketball players. We all just kind of did like our career stuff. And being around her, what I noticed was how much fun she had when she played softball and volleyball. And then if she didn't play it, how she started to kind of get a little antsy, you know? And there's a quote I heard from somebody at one point that was, don't let your fitness steal your fitness, right? Which meant was like, hey, you got to go have fun in life. You got to do fun things and do fun fitness things, and not just always be in the gym and on a treadmill and all these different things, because then your fitness is stealing your fitness. And so watching this like firsthand and watching her do this stuff, watching her daughters play sports, all this stuff, I started to kind of like remember what it was like to be around people that like to compete, like to have fun, like to play, like all these things. And I decided that I was going to get into jiu-jitsu. And one of the sports I did in high school was high school wrestling. So I did football, wrestling, and track. And I didn't know much about jiu-jitsu. I always equated it to like MMA, UFC fighting. I didn't know anything about it. And then as I started to research a little bit of it towards the end of last year, I realized, well, it's not really UFC MMA fighting. It's more like wrestling and grappling. And there's different levels to it and different ages and all this different stuff. And so I decided that I was going to get myself into a sport, right? I was like, hey, I can start to do this. And one thing I knew though was if I was going to do a sport, I was going to have to feel good. I didn't really care what my weight number was, but I had to feel good. And so for me to go out and do jiu-jitsu 2-3 nights a week, I had to put the right fuel in my body. And I knew for me what that right fuel was, right? Which is an NSNG lifestyle, 100%. And so that was really kind of, I would say, one of the major factors that all of a sudden now you're eating for performance, you're eating for like how you want to feel, And whenever you're doing something that's a little more difficult, I would say you definitely want to feel great. And so that was a big like a big aha to it. And it's interesting because obviously introduced through, Vinny, through NSNG and all that stuff. And I was thinking about this, like one thing, I don't catch on when he talks about it enough is how much he enjoys doing fitness stuff, right? If it's the climbing, if it's the biking, if it's the paddling or whatever. And a big part of that probably ties directly into the whole fitness, the whole nutrition, right? And so then there's all these signs. So for example, the jiu-jitsu at gym I go to, Sean Baker goes there, right? So Sean Baker, that's his gym. And so like a lot of people at the gym were doing the carnivore lifestyle. And for me, I didn't know, like, can you do NSNG into a high intensity sport like jiu-jitsu? Because even though I felt great at it, you still have these old ideas that you have to have X amount of carbs and carb load and all this other stuff, right? That was like in my mind and then I realized, wow, half the gym is pretty much carnivore-ish, I would say, right? They're more like no grains, no sugars, just meat and veggies, right? And that was like their thing. And there's like literally half the adults in the gym were carnivores. It's like, wow, if these folks can be doing 3-4 days of jiu-jitsu on an NSNG, I don't think they know what NSNG is, but they call it carnivore-ish because they throw veggies in there. And I was like, this is definitely this is a perfect fit. This is like validating everything that I've heard on the podcast and in the NSNG world with this high intensity, high octane sport. And a bunch of people that aren't in like our group, but they're in this other group that's out here locally that are doing really hard things and thriving with it.
I think that practicing jujitsu really changes a lot of mindset anyway. But then for you to go to the same gym as Dr. Baker,
Crazy.
that's just wild. But I
Wow.
know a lot of people like Matt. My husband Matt he practices jujitsu as well, and it's a mind shift change because you are putting yourselves in these positions on purpose that are very uncomfortable, oftentimes hard to get out of, and then you have to figure out how to move out of that or to take the control back. And I think that influences just how thinking in everyday life. Would you say the same, that it kind of influences how you approach life now?
100%. So I'll tell you, my phone is on me all the time. It's almost disgusting to say that, but like I wake up in the morning, I check my emails and see if there's any fires at work. I typically work, pretty long duration hours throughout the day. I'm always checking emails. When I go to jiu-jitsu, my phone goes in my bag. We're on those mats for an hour and a half. There's typically 20 to 30 minutes after we get out of the mats where we're just talking inside the community. I drive home. Besides my phone call back to Fawn to tell him on the way home, I'm not in my emails. I might not be in my emails for the rest of the night. So like that aspect of it too, that mental break, where if I'm at the gym, I'm on the golf course, I'm hiking, you still look at your phone. It just happens. But in that aspect, it was great. Also, anytime that you are focused on not getting choked out, right? And you work on that, the rest of the stuff in the week isn't that big of a deal. It's like we can accomplish that. And I think it's really good to be horrible at something, having people there that have been doing it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years that are really great, and you learning. And then every time you learn a little bit more, as your husband probably knows, like you feel like you learn more and you've unpacked this whole new puzzle, and you learn more and you unpack this whole new puzzle. And that's really incredible. Right. And so I've had it's funny, like during this time, I was thinking probably like 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, oh, you know what? I wonder if I should, going back to the same ridiculous habits. There's one day, like specifically, I'm like, I wonder if I should do a little bit of carb loading. I was talking to this friend of mine who's about 10 years older than me. And, he's really cleaned up his diet as well. Big guy, is kickboxing though. And he said he started to put some like carbs in, like 4 hours, quote unquote complex carbs, 4 hours before he would do kickboxing. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. I go on the mats. I feel horrible. Absolutely horrible. Right. A month prior to that or a month after, so it's almost like I'm at these checkpoints along the way. Right. We're making like, we ate someplace or we made dinner or something, and we had like a taco, and there's taco seasoning in like the ground beef. And normally I just cook my ground beef normal. Right. And for whatever reason, there's taco seasoning. I felt horrible on the mats. Like, and I had that like at lunch, and then like just that crap that's in the seasoning makes you feel horrible. So I think one of the nice things about your body, like redlining in a way, it really lets you know the junk that you've put in. And it's almost like this nice check along the way, where if I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu, for me personally, I might have just like not even noticed that I didn't feel great that night. Right. But you could see a massive impact that evening rolling, where, oh, this idea of getting 100 grams of complex carbs from rice is a bunch of crap. I feel way worse then than I do if I just had a nice, steak. So yeah, it's been really interesting to see all that stuff tie out. And even I try to outsmart myself again, but I get caught very quickly, right? Like, you don't let it snowball. So you go, oh, this doesn't work. This is ridiculous. Just stick to what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, and it goes to, I kind of talk about this quite frequently, is that your why, the why that you have to have. I never think that weight loss is a good why.
Correct.
That you really need to find the other one, and that sounds just like exactly what you just went through. The first time around, it was solely about weight loss, and that failed you, and then you found performance. That was the goal, performance and feeling good in action. That was the goal, and that's made all of the difference.
Yeah, and it can be performance, to your point, and then the other thing is recovery, right? Because like, if you're inflamed and you have inflammation, you're not going to recover great before you roll again. And so you notice that as well. And I would say, like, I started December 17th of 2023 with jiu-jitsu. I started carnivore December 26th. Okay. And I would say I'm carnivore-ish because I am more I'm carnivore majority of the time, but will do NSNG, like where I'll put in some more vegetables in there at certain points. But I could go like a month of just doing nothing but just meat and eggs, right? It's like, especially when I travel, it's way easier just to be carnivore. And the vegetables aren't even that much, right? But I'm not going to like veer off if there's snap peas or something or whatever. So what I've noticed is that recovery is so much better. And so the first few weeks, I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm overweight, I'm all this stuff. I know I got to clean it up, and I start to clean it up, the diet, but it's not like super clean. And then I'm heading into Christmas and all these things, and I know that I don't want to set myself up for failure of in my mind, like going into Christmas and then all of a sudden going off for a day and blah blah. So I want to start the 26th. Okay, like by the middle of January, I was feeling so good on the mats. It was crazy because that inflammation just started to come down so much, and that recovery came so much better, and your performance came better. And then you have this snowballing, right? This habit stacking of being active and eating better, less inflammation, more energy. You start to notice the brain fog clear up. Like, all these things start to happen. And to your point, you have this performance-based lifestyle where it gives you a better reading on how that nutrition's impacting you, for sure. The other interesting thing about our gym is, so people will bring in snacks and treats to have at the end of rolling. It's always meat. It's always stuff from like brisket they've smoked or this or that, right? That we have hunters in the gym, and we have amateur chefs and like all this stuff. It's never cupcakes or junk or whatever. It's meat, and I think that's really interesting. Like last night, 2 nights ago, I left, one of the teammates brought in this amazing brisket, right, that his wife made and brought in for and it's like, wow, this is pretty cool that that's the stuff that people are eating as their snack that they're bringing into the team.
That's this is hilarious, and it's reminding me of a story. So I'm sorry, I'm going to take away from you for a second, but I don't know if you've gone to any competitions,
Yeah, I
but
have.
when you go, yeah, so it's jiu-jitsu and acai bowls. That's all they have. They just have these huge bowls of
Fruit.
sugar,
Yeah.
fruit, and sugar, and it's nuts. So we had gone Matt's first competition we went to, and we had picked out. We saw who his competitor was going to be, and we were kind of keeping eyes on him and sizing him out, that kind of thing. And we're sitting on the sides, and I opened the cooler, and we made ribs. And we're sitting there eating ribs, and the competitor came by with this big bowl of sugar, and I was like, "Oh man, you've got this in the bag," and it was like 45 minutes before they were supposed to be on the mats, and he was down in
Crazy.
that thing. I was like, "There's no way he's going to be able to perform. He's going to be mid crash when he hits the mats."
Crazy.
And it's a wild that's the culture, and I love that culture is different at yours. You guys, I'm sure when you go to competitions, you probably all do very well because you're fueling yourselves well.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting too is there's not a lot of weight cutting like in our gym. There's some guys that might like try to cut because they're right there, but most people are just kind of, leveling out where they are, inside their own body weight type of deal. You know what I mean? Because they're feeling good, they're feeling performance. They're like, hey, this is where I'm at. And if I wrestle 5 pounds heavier, I wrestle 5 pounds heavier. There's some people that, they're borderline and they're really big time competitors. But for us, older grapplers, it's like, oh, I'm in this weight class, I'm in this weight class. This is how I feel. I'm not going to do this diet thing to try to figure out how to cut 7 pounds going into this deal. And yes, that's a big, I would say, a really unique part of the gym as well. Yeah, and our gym they have a lot of savages. They have like really, really a reputation for being really, really hard rolls and grapplers. And our professor is a great practitioner and coach, and they are carnivore, carnivore-ish. The majority of the folks that I roll with. So it's pretty interesting on how that kind of sucks you in and the whole deal. And what's really interesting about it is even the gentleman that owns our gym, our coach, our professor, he has talked with Sean a lot about the carnivore diet. And he said, hey, for me, I actually feel really good if it's steak and apples. And even Dr. Baker has said, that's okay, right? Like, it's not like if it's just an apple for you, it's not like that's way better than everything else. And sometimes he'll cut out that apple and he'll just do a lot of meat and eggs, right? And then other times he'll throw that apple in, and he says it's more seasonal. He said he feels it more like seasonal than like all year round. And it's pretty interesting to see that at such a high octane environment.
Well, you are in the Pacific Northwest, so I guess you have apples aplenty during the season.
Yeah, and I'd say the other piece, like on this journey, is before jiu-jitsu, we decided to do a dry year. We decided we're going to do a dry. We're just going to. It's interesting listening to Vinny talk on his show about how he's really kind of cut out that like Friday night, glass of whiskey type thing. We would do these 75 hard stuff, and we'd always feel so good after 75 hard. And then one day, I think it was like in October of 2023, we were just like, why are we having wine on a Friday night, right? Or on a Saturday night or whatever. And what we looked at was, there's a couple things. One, when you would drink wine, and the wine was like our choice beverage, right? If you drink wine, there's a lot of sugar in it, right? So you don't feel great. Two, it would usually would move to you having like junk food or snacking of some sort, right? Because now all of a sudden your inhibitions are lowered and like whatever, and now it's a cheat day. And you can do it Friday and watch Netflix, and all of a sudden you're at a friend's dinner on Saturday and you order wine with dinner, and now you're 2 days in a row, right? And then your third day is like a football day, and then also you have 3 days of bad food, And so we finally, and we weren't like really, out social partying type people. It was more like us watching comedy shows and hanging out and stuff, right? So we said, well, why don't we do we've done 75 hard, why don't we do a dry year? So we decided to do a dry year, and then it was coming up in October, and we've just decided not to even add it back into our lifestyle. And it's been great because we don't see that there was any benefit when we had it into our lifestyle, and we didn't notice the positives on the outset have been awesome because it fits in with the NSNG lifestyle, right? It fits in with the high performance. It doesn't allow you to get into a mode of like bad eating at all, right? Of any of that stuff. And so that was the other piece too, I think was really big for us, was it was habit stacking again. Like all these little things came up on each other, and you just feel so much better in this realm of like, no booze, no sugar, doing sports, like it all works so well together.
Yeah, so that is leading me to exactly why I really wanted to talk to you. What got me so excited to talk to you is this challenge you placed in front of yourself last January. So it's been a year. So what was that whole challenge? Because it was like a list of things that it was like a 75 year instead of just
For sure.
a 365 hard instead of a 75 hard. Explain
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was, for me, it was, we decided to do a dry year in October of 23, and we started feeling really good about it. And we're like, wow, this feels like really great. Right? We're coming through up into the new year, and this has been like, we feel good. Now we're starting to clean up the diet. We feel good. We're doing, jiu-jitsu and all this stuff. And then, December 26th hit, and it was like, hey, we're coming to this new year. We're in our 40s. Why don't we get into like the best shape that I've ever been in? Right? There's no reason with all the discipline and mind shift and all the stuff that we can't feel the best mentally, physically, mobility wise, injury prevention, all that stuff. So let's just commit to a year. Let's commit to a year of clean eating, of no booze, of working out. I like to work out 2 times a day, because for me, I would always do 75 hard, but working out 2 times a day does 2 things for me. I'm not somebody, and I have a benefit that I have a home gym in my shop, behind our house. So I can just walk across, and get on the rower or get on the assault bike or do dumbbells, but I don't like to work out for more than 30 to 40 minutes, right? I can't be in a gym for like 2 hours. And I like it because it breaks up my day. There is a thing about endorphins that happen when you're lifting weights, right? Or working out, like you really kind of get this endorphin spike. It allows me to mentally think through stuff, work, life, stress, whatever it is. And I was going to do jiu-jitsu. That's a non-negotiable. I'm going to do that 3 to 5 days a week when I'm home. I'm going to do it 3 days a week when I travel. I love it. So I'm going to start to add movement in every other day. Now, that doesn't mean that I have to work out and lift weights every day. It could just mean I'm going to go for a 45-minute or an hour walk, right? I think that's one of the best things you can do, period. In the Pacific Northwest, not always great to go walking between October and July. It's, very rainy and all that stuff, but I can definitely move, even if it means just doing mobility. So one of the other things I committed to is daily mobility, because when you start doing jiu-jitsu, you start to realize how immobile you are. You go, wow, I really can't bend in ways I'm supposed to bend, and my hips don't work the way they should do. So one of these habit, stacks I made was when I got up in the morning and have my cup of coffee, why do I just sit on the couch and drink my cup of coffee? Why don't I get on the floor and start doing some mobility stretching? Because I have 15 minutes, and why not do that? And if I'm going to watch the, CNBC or Netflix, whatever I'm going to do, I might as well do it stretching, right? And the house is quiet. The dog's not up, right? No, the house is quiet. I can do whatever I want. And that became just a habit stacker. So I do mobility every day when I get coffee. Pretty easy. I try to move every day outside jiu-jitsu, right? A walk, workout, either weights or the rower or the assault bike. And then days that I did jiu-jitsu was like a double day. It was like 2 hard workouts, and I loved it. It's been great. It's been something I don't think I'll ever get away from. I think movement is really good. Then I started to notice people in my own life. I started noticing people that were in their 70s, and the people that moved a lot and the people that didn't move a lot. And the people that moved a lot look like they're in their 50s. And the people that didn't move a lot look like they're in their 70s. And I started to notice that, and I'm a lot more cognizant of that now, and saying, okay, movement's really key. And especially in the Pacific Northwest, where you're inside all the time. If I'm moving all the time, in 20 years from now, I want to feel like 30 years from now, I want to feel like I'm in my 50s and not my 70s. And that, so this whole idea of longevity and what that's going to be like as you get older and everything around that is really key. And then, to be honest, I think everything with that Vinny has been very very transparent this year, right? With the cancer and all that stuff, that becomes like a forefront again, because you get a lot of people have cancer in your life. You go through this stuff, and the way he approaches it is, I believe, the right way that he approached it in all different aspects, right? So it's like, for me, he's got this big toolbox. He's going to get with the best doctors. He's going to get the best treatment. He's going to get the diet, dialed in, and then it gets him committed to, not committed because he already committed, but it gets me committed more to this NSNG. So this stuff's going to happen. We're going to get hit with these things, and the better position we're in, the higher probability it's going to be to get through this, right? So it's like all these things have kind of happened, and I don't know if you're like more hyper aware of it because of this, but it just helps reinforce this whole lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes so much sense. You're preparing ahead for what may or may not ever happen, but at least you're ready for it. You're using your time now. We had this conversation with Eddie Fackler when he was on our show. Who could know that his heart was basically going to split in two? Who
Crazy.
could foresee that coming? And all the work he put in before, running, eating right, all that stuff is the reason why he survived. He's got a lot that he has to deal with now, but he's alive and he can work on it, and already had that mindset in place. It's very, very similar to
100%.
his story.
Yeah, and when I see people, so you have the movement and then you have the nutrition. And on the movement side, I think movement's so key. Exercise the fountain of youth, right? I love that term. They've been used all the time because I see people that move a lot. It's a night and day difference, especially in your 70s and 80s and 90s. I was on a golf course this summer with a lady who was 91, and she'd drive her golf cart up, and she'd get out of the golf cart. It's interesting, right? So she drives. So she's not walking the course, she's driving, which is pretty incredible still. Drives up, gets her golf club out, goes out, puts her tee down, swings, picks the tee back up, goes in there. And you're doing that 100 times in a round. So the movement, the balance, the swings, and she golfs 3 times a week. Like, I'm sure that's her fountain of youth, because you have, all this athletic stuff, the balance, the swinging, the power, all of that stuff. If she didn't do that and you just sat inside your house and watched The Price is Right and all these different things, those are 2 completely different lives, right? So that has really got me thinking just about the bigger picture on things too. So I think that's really, really, really important.
So let me ask you, you've done this year. So it's January right now. So you completed the year. What changes have you noticed in yourself through that year? Did you measure anything, or just anything that you've noticed as a change?
So I have I do go to an integrated medicine doctor, and we've done a lot larger panels of, blood work and all that stuff. And that's been, that all the markers have improved. Right. And so that's been great. My heart rate has gone down, like my resting heart rate on top of that's gone down. So just from a data standpoint, and I don't know my numbers off the top of my head, but I geeked out on it at the time, and it was pretty cool to see. I did one in January, and then went back again, I think in May, and the difference was pretty good. And again, this was pretty wide spanning panels. My energy's through the roof, right? So my energy's super high. My I would say my recovery is, and it's hard because as you're doing more jiu-jitsu, you should be recovering. But I honestly believe that without an NSNG lifestyle, I don't think my recovery would be nearly as good as it is. And so I'm 40, going to be 42, and I can do 6 or 7 days a week sometimes at jiu-jitsu. If I travel coming up and I'm at home, I'm gonna get a lot of reps in, because when I travel, I might not get a lot of reps in, right? So I'm just trying to get the cycles in. And I've noticed a lot of people say they can't do it because they're so sore, their shoulders and their backs and all this stuff. And I've noticed my recovery is really, really accelerated, I would say, in the second part of this year, probably just from getting used to the movements, but also just the diet, right? Like that really helps. The brain fog, mentally, like how crystal clear I am. It's, unless you've experienced it before, I don't know how to explain it, except for like it literally is just like this, like you're in 4K now, right? Like, whoa, like it's just different. Yeah, that's been a piece. The other piece is, I would say, like, back in 2020, I would white knuckle a lot of things, right, if I had to. And now it's not even. Two things happen. One, if there's no good food around where I'm traveling, I just fast. It's not a big deal. You can fast so you get to a place with better food, right? It's like, I'd rather fast than not have. And I've had to do that sometimes because I've been at conferences where it's been like heavy grains, or a lot of vegan stuff that was like a lot of grain types of deals, and there wasn't a good option around. So just get some black coffee and fast for the day, right? Or if I'm traveling, it's really easy that if they don't, if you're at any restaurant I go to, you can pretty much get some type of burger, and just eat the patty. And that just becomes so easy, and you feel so much better from that. I would say my sleep is so I used to wear a Whoop watch all the time. I used to be like obsessed with data in my previous life, probably because I was doing all these challenges. Now I don't care. All right, I got rid of that Whoop watch because, like, for me, I know if I'm not getting good sleep. It's like you're more in tune with your body that, oh, I haven't got enough sleep, I got to get more sleep. I don't need to be told. Like, I don't need that data to tell me anymore, because the rest of everything else is kind of dialed in, right? Yeah, so I'd say those are really big things. Yeah, my shopping cart looks way different. I mean, the shopping cart is like, way completely different. It's pretty funny. If I go to Costco, it's like pretty basic. We buy a lot from like a local butcher, or actually a local farmer, and then we get our cattle butchered at a local butcher, and that, I think you're more cognizant about like where your protein's coming from. That's something that's happened. And so that's been pretty interesting. But yeah, all those things have just kind of like compounded. I think the Whoop thing, I used to be such a nerd about the Whoop thing. I think subconsciously I knew I wasn't doing great things for my lifestyle. And so therefore, for my lifestyle wasn't great for my life. So I wanted to see what my performance, my recovery was on Whoop. Now that you're doing those things, that doesn't matter. I don't need a piece of technology to tell me, because I know what's in my body and I know how I'm moving. So that's not like the issue, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. I'm the same way. Like, if I start participating in some sort of challenge, then everything is the challenge, and like the rest of life all just kind of falls apart because I'm not monitoring any of the other things that I'm supposed to be monitoring, because I got to hit this challenge and I got to do this thing. And so it's like freeing to just be like, I can just kind of go on autopilot, but I know that those things are there if I need them.
100%.
Like right now, I had a really hard end of the year. It's hard getting back on track. So I can lean on those things again and get myself back in. But once that ball's rolling again, we can just chug right along. So is that what you're doing? Is that your January goal for this year? Are you
Yeah.
setting goals, or are you just going?
So my goal, so my fitness goal, so the nutrition wise, I feel great about it. It's going to go. My goal is actually just the amount of jiu-jitsu sessions I'm going to get in. I want to get 200 sessions in this year. And so like everything else is going to kind of take care of it. What's funny is I use a fitness app that tells me what workouts I can do. Let's just say it's got a whole library of workouts. It's called My Fitness, My something, and there's different trainers on this app. Okay. And I really love it because you can pick a trainer you like, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $100 a year, and you have access to all these different types of trainers. And you can go in there, and one of the trainers I like has like 1,000 different workouts. They have, at-home workouts, body weight workouts, mobility workouts, dumbbell workouts, and they give you the workout, and then they give you a video of how to do the exercise, right? And they have Facebook communities and all these different things. And I really like this one trainer that out of Scottsdale. The name's Jeremy Scott. A lot of functional type fitness stuff, the whole deal. And his community in Facebook's great. And we've actually won one of the challenges, and they flew us down to Scottsdale. But they do these challenges throughout the year. And they have this challenge that kick off every year, which is their 47-day transformation challenge. And for the last 3 years, I've always done this challenge. Take your pictures, do the challenge, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing it this year. Like, I don't need that challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in it. I still use his app all the time. I support the people on the Facebook. I've made some really great friends that are part of that Facebook community. They're awesome. They provide a ton of motivation. But like, I'm just using his other content because I don't need that challenge anymore. That challenge doesn't serve me for what I want to do right now. And so I'm just doing, he has a dumbbell muscle building program. Every workout takes 20 to 30 minutes. I follow along. It's mapped out for me. I can do all of it. And it kind of gets you to break up your routine. Because maybe for me, I'm somebody that can just get pretty much into the same thing all the time. If I follow like a 6-week program that he has in there, it's the volumes, the type of workouts are changing each time. And he has a really good podcast. It's he was an athlete. He's more into his 40s now. He's more about longevity and functionality in the whole deal. So I like it. But I'm not doing these challenges. Like, I don't, it doesn't really, I'm past that part of my life.
That's awesome. And I've got two. I know, Scott, I think I saw that you had some questions, but I have a couple more. I wanted to go back to two things. But you mentioned that you travel, so I'll start with that one. And you said fasting and getting burgers. Is there anything else that you rely on? Because I know you travel all the time. So what other things do you rely on for travel?
So there is there's a pretty good, so a couple things. One, I'll go buy hard salami from the deli. Like, when I'm going to travel, hard salami with me on an airplane is like perfect. Hard salami and cheese. Like, if I have like a long flight, right? If I'm going from here to Tampa, that's like so easy for me to do. I take my water bottle, and then once I get through security, the filtration water things, I fill up the water there. I'll get like a half a pound of hard salami and cheese and do that. And then when you travel, you have, Instacart to do the same thing, right? You can figure out where you are. If you're going to Uber places, where often I'm just like Ubering, I can find a Publix or whatever. I can, order hard salami from the deli, and it can be at the hotel. And that makes life so easy, right? I see people that do a lot of the beef stick stuff out there. I've only found one good company out of Iowa called Sogo. It's a little family operated farm that looks like they have a real solid, clean beef stick. But I think it's so much easier just for me to go get like salami and cheese and call it good to go. When I travel, I don't eat stuff at the hotel. Like, very rare do I eat stuff at the hotel. So I typically won't. And it's easy for me because I'm coming from the West Coast. And when it's back on the East Coast, by the time it's noon, it's like 9 a.m. here. When I land, I try to go work out. Like, if it's because typically for me, so let me just actually put some comments around that. If I get in early someplace and I have a meeting to go to, or customers or team members, I may meet up with them for dinner or whatever the case is, then I'll go work out. Often I might get in the night before I have to be someplace, and I go right to the gym and work out because it helps me get back. It helps my my time shift, right? For whatever reason, even if it's just walking on that treadmill for like 45 minutes or 30 minutes, it just helps. And there's something about the mobility, and it just helps. So those are like, I try to keep my routine as much as possible when I travel. When you go out to lunch, yeah, it's, for me, a real easy one is just kind of, I don't even like to get steaks out because they cook with like different types of seed oils and you can feel it, I feel like a hamburger, it's like is like probably your best bet just without the bun, like I feel like it's your best bet. So that's what I try to do. I don't think there's too much more. I try not to make it complicated. I used to try to make it complicated. I just try to figure all these things out, try to find out protein drinks and this and that doesn't really work because you're just having these chemicals and all this, right? It's not really it. And when I started to switch out the salami last year, which was probably like in January, it was pretty quick. It made all the difference, so.
Yeah, that's great because people ask all the time, "What do I do? I travel all the time. What do I do?" That's a perfect little life hack there.
It's so easy.
It's a good protein to fat ratio, right?
Yep.
Mixed in that salami, so it should sustain you for a good while. It's easy to tote around, and
you put
you
in
can
your
get it
bag,
anywhere.
in your carry-on, you can go in. It's like, yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah, it does not have to be complicated. That is exactly correct. And I think we all try to make things way more complicated than they need to be.
I'm the best at that. I am the best at figuring out like how to do this then. And I love salami. So like, how great is it when you're in an airplane, you pull out some salami and you have this great little snack? It's like, this is perfect.
The people around you probably appreciate the salami much more than if somebody was pulling out a hard-boiled egg, because there's a lot of there's a lot of scent associated with that.
100%.
That's a good thing. I said I had two things, but now I don't remember what the second one was. So
yeah, and the other thing too is like, I'm like Vinny, like I do have a sweet tooth, and so I will keep that like 80% cocoa. If like I have some Mexican chocolate that my cousin brought for me from Mexico, that's like 90% cocoa. It's bitter, but it does kind of hit that sweet craving if you need it, right? So that's not a bad thing. I think it actually kind of subdues your sweet craving. In black coffee, I've heard Vinny talk about that too. Like if I really feel like having that black coffee's been pretty good. Or if it's really bad, you get some blueberries. Like blueberries are a great thing to grab like a handful of and feel like you just had an amazing treat at the whatever.
I went to visit my sister in Tacoma a couple years ago, and blueberries were in season, and she took me on a walk, and I just like ate my weight in blueberries just right off the bush.
They're so good. And I think like when you're in this whole, this NSNG, lifestyles framework, like when you eat them, they taste like candy. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to turn it over to Scott. I think you have a couple questions to ask.
Yeah, so I have a question myself that's going to segue into a question that was asked as well. So you mentioned that you met a girl that was an active person, outdoors person. Did it help you surrounding yourself around somebody that was an active or outdoorsy person?
100%. Like without someone that definitely played sports too and competed. Like I forgot that version of myself. I forgot that version existed. And my professional career is there, the competition, the excitement, all those things. But I forgot about this other piece of me, and seeing someone who's also in their 40s light up doing sports. And you're a runner, correct? Are you a runner?
We'll do this. We'll do the quote.
Yeah, I'm not
a version of it. Yes.
Like I can't do anything. Like that does not, like I don't even get it, right? So I think people that find that runner high, that want to get better, they're constantly getting better at something. They can have fun when they go to a place and run outside if they're on vacation. Like that's not me. I can't do it. And I think people that can't find that love for running, and I have a lot of family members that have done it, cousins and brothers, all this different stuff. I just can't do it. And so I think it's really easy for people that can find that running high to find their sport, right?
Right.
So I wasn't around people that did it with team sports or jiu-jitsu. And once I started to find that, I was like, oh, this is what the runners get. Like, they're fun. Like, I'm getting this fun over here, and now I get it, right? Because, and so that was a big thing to me for sure. And then to see like how she would prioritize it, right? So like she would definitely prioritize it over things like, oh, it's okay to prioritize this. We can tell family members that we're not going to do something because she has a softball tournament, right? I can do jiu-jitsu, and not like, oh, prioritizing your thing is a good thing.
And this segues into our friend Natalie, who's our partner of the show. This is her question. We keep hearing we. Is the other part of the active girl you met?
For sure. So she does. Yeah. So I would say she's more NSNG than carnivore for sure. But I mean, she's eating steak or hamburger or something with me 6 to 7 nights a week. She'll throw in chicken and she'll do some other stuff. But you know, she grew up in a hunting household. You go to her dad's house and it looks like a Cabela store right now. Like they've always been that way. And so she understands how good the keto lifestyle is, how good the fats, right? Like fat's not a bad word. She's never known fat as being a bad word. It's always been a good word. And so, yeah, it's really great. And I'd say she'll do more veggies, right? She likes her veggies. She doesn't do a lot of fruit, but more veggies than I do. But every night it's, we eat steak all the time or a hamburger or whatever, right? It's red meat. So that makes it easier, if you're with someone like that, hey, we're going to grill up some red meat tonight. And you're not cooking, 2 different dinners. So that's been great.
Absolutely. And Natalie had one more question when you're talking about Dr. Baker. Have you ever had the opportunity to hit the mat with Dr. Baker at your gym?
No, because he got injured last year. So he hasn't been rolling as much. He comes into our big events. I think he's going to try to start to get back into it more and more. But no, because I've only been doing it for a year, and it was right where he kind of tweaked himself and everything. But yeah, so from what I understand is he is a handful. I've heard that he is like unbelievably strong and an absolute handful on the mats.
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting him in Austin before, and he is by no stretch of the imagination a small person. I mean, he looks crazy. When he gets to 80 years old, he will still be somebody that could strike the fear of God in people. I mean,
so we have like some pretty big folks at our gym and stature and everything. And when he shows up to the gym, it's crazy about like how much bigger he is than people. Like it's Absolutely. It's kind of crazy it's pretty incredible. Yeah.
I mean, like I'm 6'1", and when I met him, I was probably at the time 270, and he towered me, and he had no fat, and he was much more broader than me as well.
Because do you think he's 6'6"?
I would have to say he's somewhere around there. I mean,
that's what I would think so too. I was trying to figure that out because I look at when he was standing next to some of the guys recently. He was like 6'1". Shoot, maybe it's actually the summer 6'1", 6'2", and he looked a lot taller than them. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I can confirm I felt inferior in every aspect around him.
I have a picture of myself with him that I will repost tomorrow and tag you guys in it because it's absolutely hilarious. He looks like he's like 2 feet taller than me. Not that I'm a tall person, but I mean, it's like worlds of opposite the two of us next to each other.
What's great about and I haven't spent a bunch of time, hardly any time with him, but what's great about what I've noticed is when we have events at the gym, even though he's been injured and we have like, promotions or like a seminar or something, he shows up, right? So he's still part of that community. He's just not there. He hasn't been training for the last year. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think he's pretty close colleagues with a number of like the professor and a number of the upper belts and coaches at the gym, because he's been there a bit. But yeah, I think it's pretty incredible, because again, I don't hear people talking about that they're carnivore or they're NSNG. They just eat this way, and they talk about how good they do when they eat it. So it's really interesting how that's all kind of happened.
That's good.
Well, I remembered my question.
Yeah.
If you could prioritize how you function, like you've talked about all of this habit stacking,
Uh-huh.
what would be like your foundation, and then what's next in your priorities?
Nutrition is my priority, number one. So what I put into my body, I'm going to feel if I'm doing something active or not. That's number one. Now it's mobility. Like now actually doing daily mobility is my number two. Like I'll do mobility even if I'm sick. I can feel it if I don't do it. Number three would be jiu-jitsu, and number four would be working out. Those would be my habits for sure.
I love that. And it makes everything else that you're involved in, family life, work life, everything else, just that much better because you prioritize those things.
100%. Yeah. And like what's nice about, what's nice about mobility is you don't need anything special to do it. So like you can get that in no matter what. And so when we're really busy with life and everything, you can still get your mobility in. And sometimes if I feel like I need to work out, but I don't have time to do an actual workout, I'll do just this quick thing of mobility plus 200 push-ups and 200 body weight squats. And the way that I do that is I just go 10, 10, 10, 10 back and forth. And I have wedges for the knees over toes, like wedges, like the styrofoam wedges. And so if I don't have a bunch of time, that takes like 15 minutes. So, I can do mobility, coffee, and that. And I feel like I got something in, because I know I'm not going to be able to get a workout that day, or we're traveling, or we have to catch an airport super early. I don't need to go do a 45-minute workout. I can drink a cup of coffee. I can get my mobility in. I can do 200, 200. And 200, 200 is actually really hard. And so if you can get that done, like the first 100, the first like 10, 10 is pretty easy. It's the second tens of tens that get really difficult, right? And so there are times when my shoulders are shot, and I will take a stool and I'll do push-ups with a raised incline, right, to take the pressure off my shoulders, just to get the the workout in. Or I'll go 20 body weight squats, 10 push-ups for 10 rounds, and do that way. I'm doing 200 body weight squats and 100 push-ups. So there's always a way to kind of to game it, to make sure that you're doing something when you might not be able to do a full 30 or 45-minute workout.
Yeah, you said you're gaming it, but honestly, it sounds like you've eliminated excuses.
That's a better way to put it. You're eliminating excuses, right? But it's like, but that's better than nothing, right? And you feel better. And not to mention, like, I think that a body weight squat and a push-up. So the other reason I love a rower is like active mobility. It's like active stretching. That if I'm really sore, like today I've been really busy, and before our meeting, I just jumped on the rower for 30 minutes. That was so easy to be able to get. I needed it for like stretching, mobility, and some zone 2 cardio. Super simple. Squats, body weight squats, and push-ups do the same thing. That after doing mobility, something about getting all the way down and all the way up, and push-ups all the way down, all the way up, are really good for stretching everything else under like some resistance without putting a bunch of like load against yourself.
Do you follow anyone for your mobility training?
So I follow that Jeremy Scott guy a lot. I follow the knee over toes guy on Instagram. Like, it's pretty interesting. I think what he's done is really interesting. Yeah, but I'm pretty basic. I'm like, there's this thing called Spider-Man steps. I do, pigeon stretches. I use the doorway for shoulders. I'm pretty basic. I'll do some foam rolling. I don't do that nearly enough, by the way. I should do foam rolling every day, and I don't. Because whenever I foam roll, it feels amazing. But just like little things like that. Also, there's something about being on the floor. As weird as it sounds, like being on the floor and having to get up, and sit back down and stuff, like that's good. I feel like it's good to be on the floor, get up, get down, stretch, rather than just sitting on the couch having your coffee. Like that helps kind of get everything moving too.
It's funny that you say that because I'll sit down on the floor and I'll put my shoes on. Sometimes, not all the times, but I'll sit down on the floor, put my shoes on, tie my shoes, stand back up, and I'm thinking, there's people that can't even like reach their feet, and I just
100%.
yeah, I just sat on the floor and put on my shoes. Like as long as I can do that, I feel like I'm still winning. So.
Yeah, and there's something about like getting on the floor, doing your stretches, moving around, having to get back up, like all that stuff. Like really, I think it's funny because when you do it, you don't think about it, but how many people don't ever do that? They're never on the floor, right? Like never. Like that's so kind of crazy. If they're on there, I've noticed people when you watch them get up from the floor, and this was me not too long ago. Like it's a chore. It's like, wow, my balance isn't the way it's supposed to be, and like my mobility is not there. It's very interesting.
That just sparked a memory. Matt and I had gone for a walk in the neighborhood one time, and we heard yelling, and a woman down the street in our neighborhood had fallen in the garage, and luckily her garage door was open, so we were able to hear her screaming because she could not pick herself up from the floor, and she had stuff to hold on to, and she's in her garage. There was stuff there, and she could not pull herself up. So just being able to get down and up again, just do that a couple times a day. That's mobility training.
Have you read Peter Attia's book, the Outlive book?
I have it. I have not read the whole thing.
So I don't subscribe to everything in there, but the mobility and balance and stuff that he talks about as you age is so interesting. And grip strength and mobility and little tests you can do about how to get off the floor and like what are your goals at different decades, right? It's like as you get into your 70s, a goal should be like lifting your suitcase up into the overhead compartment of an airplane, right? Like that's a really big thing to be able to do. And why balance and grip strength are so important, because to your point, if you fall and you can't catch yourself or you can't grip onto something and you land, that can be devastating. And once you go into a wheelchair, the chance of coming back out of that wheelchair from like a broken hip, it's just downward spiral. So I bought the book, but I listened to an audiobook because it's really geeky, and I'm a geeky guy, but like I couldn't follow it, but it's phenomenal. And he said you can just jump around to chapters, and it's really really good to I would say listen through, especially as we're thinking about the longevity game through our life.
Maybe that's what I have to do. I got into the first chapter and I was like, whoa, I'm not sure if I can get
Well,
through
I
this.
would listen to it.
I'm going to have to, I'll skip through to longevity.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's definitely, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of great information in there. And like I said, I have this for the reference to go back and reference, but I listened to the audio side and it was really, really interesting.
Well, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll listen to it instead. Maybe that'll hit my brain a little better. Scott, did you have another question? Oh, okay. I just wanted to check to make sure. This went by so fast, Adam. This was such a great conversation. It's 3 minutes after 8 already. Yeah. So Incredible. Look at us go. And I haven't even asked our last question. So we asked our guests a question. All of them have the same question. I don't know if you've ever listened to any of them, but this is the question. If you were to give one piece of advice to someone who is just embarking on their low carb journey, what would it be?
If they're just embarking on their low carb journey, one piece of advice. I like, I believe it's Anna on Vinny, where she says, give it 60 days. Like, I like that time frame of 60 days. You can do anything for 60 days. I think if you do it 60 days on the other side, I think about that all the time when she says it. And I feel like that's a really good piece of advice, that you can do anything for 60 days. And if you keep it simple and stay disciplined for 60 days, and it's probably a really good piece of advice right now coming the holidays. Like if you can do that, then you're on the other side of this thing and it's going to be a lot easier from there.
Absolutely. That is spot on. Once you get that 60 days, then you have formed your habit.
Yeah.
It's there now. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's there.
And I think your body craves it. I think you've changed what your body is craving for food. It's not craving the processed crap or the carbs or the sugars. It's craving that fat and protein. And that happens sometime between 30 and 60 out there. So, yep.
Yeah, I love that. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I want to thank you so much. This was an excellent conversation. I knew I was looking forward to it for a reason. So thank you, Adam, for joining us. And on behalf of Scott and myself, thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.